everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we will be talking about the second aspect of the Visualforce page development. In our previous lecture, we talked about different aspects of the visual page, like Apex page, Apex page blog, then Apex sections, right? And then we added a bit of a code. And then I mentioned to you, if you remember, about the standard controller, and I said we were going to touch base on it next time. So next time is today. So we'll be talking about the standard controllers today, right? So the first thing first, before you jump into do hands-on, you need to have an org. As usual, I logged into my a free developer account org. You can use that as well if you've got a free developer account org. But if you're someone who is experienced with Visualforce page, then you can, and if you're developing stuff for a client, then you can use Sandbox. That's fine. But if you're, excuse me, if you're someone who is new to Visualforce page, if you're just starting, then I would not encourage you to use Client Sandbox or Production. Yeah, Production is a big no. And Sandbox is a big no as well on the client side, right? So it's better to use the free developer account. Okay, all right, let's dive in. The first thing first, what we're going to do, we're going to create a Visualforce page today in a bit different way. Last time, I remember, if you remember, I've demonstrated you how to create a Visualforce page from a dev console, or you can go to Visualforce page by going to setup, right? And then you can create the Visualforce page from there as well. So today, what we're going to do in a bit different way using a URL. So what we're going to do, so this is my URL, right? So I'm going to clear everything until here. And then I'm going to type Apex, then I just put the name. Let's say, what I'm going to do? I wanted to target contact objects, right? Contacts are out of box, right? So let's target the contact objects. So contact, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Display list contact list. Okay, right, now it says the page do not exist, which is great. Now you can create it from here. Ta-da, your page is here. That's fantastic, right? So Salesforce gives you this very flexible option. You can create a Visualforce page from and URL, right? Okay, now let's going to talk about, today we're going to talk about standard controller. So Visualforce is based on MVC paradigm. So, model view controller. So if you're someone from a C# background, from a .NET Core background, you know what MVC is all about, right? So view is where, think about view, right, as a Visualforce page where you see all the components displayed. Controller is where it's like a middle layer where the view interact, right? And to get the data, or get and push the data. So, and the model is your database, basically your Salesforce underlying database objects, right? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Controllers. Controllers are standard controllers, right? And you have a custom controllers as well. So we're going to talk about the standard controllers, which is out of box. You don't have to build it. For custom controllers, you have to write an Apex class. So today, our main point of interest is only about standard controllers, because I wanted to take it a bit slower this session so that you don't get overwhelmed and, so that you understand the concept very well. So the standard controller, right? So what we're going to do standard controller as contact, which helps you to push or pull the data to or from the database, right? So remember in our last episode we created a contact, right? And I added 2 fields, and if you remember, I created a contact called Captain America, if you remember the fancy name from Avengers. Any Avenger fan out there? Big shout out to them. Okay, so you can use the standard controller to push the data. That's exactly what we did. Now today we won't be pushing any data. We're going to pull the data. We're going to display the data, right? And then we're going to look at the tables structure as well, how to write a table structure on the Visualforce page, right? Sounds exciting? Stay with me. It won't be too complicated. So I'll try to make it as simplified as I can. Okay, so let's jump in. The first thing first, we need to tie this to a controller, right? So an object. So in our case, we are interested in a contact. So what we're going to do, I'm going to, by the way, this is how you write the comments, right? Anything you write under this, it won't be executed as a part of the code. So it's basic. If you're someone from HTML, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this piece of code here, and what I'm gonna do. So let me push this up a bit. Right, nice and easy. So we're gonna do standard. See, it got a pretty good intelligence. So what we're gonna do is that contact. Right. Okay. Let's save it. Right. It's always a good practice, you know, when you do something to save it so that you don't accidentally lose your work. And plus, it tells you whether your syntax is correct or not. Right. Okay. So we done this. Okay. Now we're gonna do. I'm gonna create a page as usual. So as you know, that Apex page block. We need a page block, right? Okay. So and let's see what we're gonna do. We need a page block. Let's say the title. So title, and we're gonna say, okay. These are the attributes, right? That comes with this. Contact data. For the sake of simplicity, I just put it as contact data. You can put whatever you want, right? So I mean, there's just whatever makes sense to you, right? Okay. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna display the contact first name and last name. So that's the main interest. So we're gonna do so you're gonna do everything is under contact dot first name and okay now contact dot. All right, I'll explain to you what I'm doing. All right, so you see the syntax, right? You might think, oh, what is the syntax is about? If you've worked with Salesforce formula, right, it's pretty much similar to that. So this is exactly how you write it. So what I'm doing is that, okay, so I'm saying that, okay, this Visualforce page is tied to this controller called contact, right? And what we're going to do, we're not going to, we just want the data to be retrieved on this page and displayed. Right? That's all we are interested in. We are not interested in anything else. Okay, so let's save it and let's see what happens. Right? We got this contact data, but you see there's no data displayed here. You might wonder what's happening, right? Because this is a single record retrieval screen, right? So because what happens is you're telling to Salesforce, look, I'm interested in a contact, right? I'm only interested in one contact because this is not a list of contacts. This is a single record. But the problem is Salesforce, like, right, that's all good, but what ID do you want me to fetch, right? You haven't specified any ID, and I don't know what data to fetch, right? Because I got like 50 contacts, so which one you're after, right? Because you haven't specified anything about a specific contact ID, right? Because Salesforce relies on the Salesforce ID, right? Which is unique to every record. So it's like, give me the ID and I will display it. So that's where the ID comes in the picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to log into, I'm just going to do to Wilson. I'll log into again. Right, okay, so I logged into this account, this org again. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go to contacts because I'm interested in a contact record, right? So go to contacts and let's fetch an ID. I hope everyone knows how to get the ID from a record. It's always in the URL. See, this is a URL, so this is your ID, right? Okay, so I'll grab this boy here and I go here and I pay attention to the syntax here, URL, sorry, and it is to ID equals to, okay, and then that's all we are interested, right? Now, what happens? You actually specified to Visualforce page, look, this is my ID, show me the first name and last name associated with this contact. And the Salesforce was like, pretty sweet. That's exactly what I wanted to display to you. So since you're given with the ID, so Salesforce makes your life much easier. So as long as you tell to the system what exactly you're after, right? Pretty cool. Right, now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you one cool stuff here. Let's get rid of this one. Let's say, let me save it first, right? Okay, let me save it. Okay, I'm gonna do Apex. Okay, Apex. Okay, Apex details. Okay, let me save it. Right, there you go. So it displays you the list of Apex details, right? So this option, right, Apex detail, it displays you the detail page to the screen, right? And it contains all the related stuff as well. Now, for instance, if you're not interested, say, let's say you are only interested in this contact details, you're not interested in any of this related details, you can hide that as well. So the way to hide, you can do Apex okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Related list equals to false, right? There's an attribute called related list. So if it's by default, it's set to true. So if you specify, I do not want any related list to be displayed, you can set it to false and you can save it. And there you are. Okay, the related list is gone. Now, if you wanted to pick and choose, right, which related list to be displayed, you can do that as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let's say I wanted to display only case object, right? So you can do that. So Apex related list list equals to, okay, I think this is case. Hopefully it's case. All right, no, there's an error here. It's cases. Okay. There you go. Ta-da! You can see cases there. So you can restrict what you wanted to see on the screen, right? This is a very powerful option. You can use that. Please check it out. And there's a component reference here. You can go there as well if you want more information. Excuse me. So let me show you. So you can see all the options here if you wanted to, you know, for instance, you know, if you wanted to look at specific thing, you know, action support, you know, all this kind of stuff. Just check it out. You know, you'll find it useful. Okay, cool. All right, now this information is handy, and I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing on the screen. But what if I wanted to see the list of contacts, right? And this won't give me the list of contacts because this standard controller is tied to a contact, which results which returns only one value, right? But I wanted to see the list of contacts like first name and last name, right? I wanted to see in a form of a table, right? Instead of seeing, you know, a detailed information about a contact, I'm rather interested in a list of a contact displaying first name and last name, right? And now you might wonder, is it possible? Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna rely on the list instead of a single record structure. So what we're gonna do, it's pretty straightforward. So we're just gonna take this off, right, and save it, and it's gonna say record set equals to contact, right, and gonna save it. Okay, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do Apex page. There's something called table. Tables, right? Okay, so I hope value equals to, we have to be contact, right? Then what's that called? There's one more field. Okay, let's save it. We'll give an error, right? It says we need a where. Okay. this is what, when I'm not sure about something, what I'm going to do is that I normally to save it, and it gives an error message, and based on that you can fix it. So error message is gone. So okay, I'll tell you what I'm trying to do, so just hang on a second for me, please. Column, so value equals to cc first name. Okay, apex dot column, right, value equals to cc dot last name. Okay, that's not right. I need to put in braces. Okay, all right, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is exactly what we wanted. So we wanted to display different contacts in form of a table where you can see the first name and the last name, and that's exactly what we wanted, right? Okay, so let me explain you what code is all about. So what we have done, we use this attribute page blog table, which tells you that, okay, I'm interested to build a table where values is the contact object, and the where, this is a variable, right? And then you're accessing the variable dot first name is the contact field names, right? And then you put that as the part of a column. So the column 1, column 2, right? So if you wanted to, if you wanted to display other stuff as well, right? You can do that, like apex column value, and you can put other fields if you wanted to display. Right, so I hope you find this thing very useful, because it's very powerful. You can do a lot of stuff with Visualforce, right? Because there are a lot of inbuilt components you can use. When we go to Lightning, you'll see it's a bit different, right? Because Lightning is not page-centric compared to Visualforce pages. It's component-based architecture, so that's a bit different. So I'm gonna discuss with you guys about the Lightning framework, web development framework, when we reach to that stage, right? Okay, so I hope you find this session valuable today. So this is all I wanted to cover. I don't want to explain too much stuff at the time, so to overwhelm you. Play around with this stuff. If you're not comfortable, go through the documentation. There's a great Trailhead documentation about Visualforce page. I'll put a link below in the bottom, right, for your own information. Right, so I think that's all I wanted to cover today. And one more thing before I finish off for today. You might be knowing I got this blog, right? So big Salesforce spot.blogspot.com. So I'll put the link below as well in the description. So what I've done, that I've collected all the videos I've done, so I put it in a form of a blog, right? So it's easy for you to search rather than going to my YouTube channel. If you're interested, you can go there as well. It takes you to the YouTube channel anyways, but I just wanted to put everything in a blog so that it's easier for me as well going forward. If I wanted to search one of my video, I can go here and I can search it here. You guys know how to use blog, right? So I put that updated all the time, right? So I've covered pretty much about platform development, and I've covered some of the stuff around Salesforce admin as well, not to the extent of certification, because that was not my main aim when I started making the video to cover for certification. Then I realized, right, because I've been developing in Salesforce, right? So I thought, okay, let me make a video so I can help someone else out there, right? That's all my main purpose, is to help people out there, help the Salesforce community, empower them with the better knowledge, because I know that all of Salesforce is great. We have a great community everywhere in the world, great talented people working on Salesforce, which is fantastic. I'm just doing my part, to help you guys, and after this, I'm going to do app builder certification course. The reason why I don't charge money, because I believe education should be free. Unless you are doing something customization for someone, yeah, then it needs to be chargeable. But this is out there on the Trailhead. I'm not doing anything extraordinary. I'm just making a video out of the content out there, right? Because I prefer to use the video when I learn something, but you might prefer text, right? So if you're someone who likes text, then I would encourage you. There are different blogs out there, but do check out my video. You might change your opinion, right? So it's no marketing or anything. You just, I'm just telling you guys so that to help you guys. If you're someone who's preparing for platform dev, do check out my videos. It might help you a bit, right? Because I try to cover everything I can, and plus extra stuff with the platform dev, right? All right. That's all I wanted to cover. Sorry guys if you guys hearing some kind of bike noise. There are some bikers going around. It's just Wednesday in small town in New Zealand. Sometimes can get crazy, right? All right, that's all for today. From now, I'm signing off from New Zealand. Greetings from New Zealand. Adios.